wanted to do art as an outlet because I was getting burned out. You know, you're always at home and there really wasn't anything to look forward to other than Zoom, but you get tired of it.
You could explore your creativity at a young age.
Yeah, or I had no choice. I realized that I was always so tired, you know, after work. I wanted to do art, but I just felt so like, you know, unmotivated. The subjects that I focus on or paint radiate emotions.
Welcome to Business and Tsismis, where we uncover stories that make the hustle worth it. I'm Vanessa Caro, your host, and this is the Limitless Series Season 2, powered by Eastern Communications. We've talked about many things, but today we are going to be talking about the creative industry and art itself. And who better than to talk about that other than creative entrepreneur and visual artist, Miss Inha Arceo. Hi, Inha.
Hello. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being here. We're very excited to have you here. I know that you've had quite a career from managing corporate in the past to now being a full-time visual artist and entrepreneur. How does it feel, and who is Inha Arceo today?
It's always a challenging thing, especially if you want to be able to start something new for yourself. And I think being so used to, you know, doing corporate marketing in the past 10 years has made me so comfortable. And I didn't really have a set routine because it was sort of laid out for me already.
Yep.
And
you wake up in the morning, you go to work, and you do what you need to do.
And then it's a 9 to 5 thing.
Yes.
And entering the entrepreneurial or artistic scene has made me realize that there are so many factors or things that you need to be able to do to establish your own creative routine. And in that sense, you're able to realize that you have to have certain goals for yourself.
Yes.
So that you won't burn out and that you're able to also achieve certain things you want to be able to do, like as an artist and entrepreneur.
Now, being a creative entrepreneur today, who is Inha Arceo?
Okay, so hi, I'm Inha, and wow, hi, Inha.
Wow.
Wow, formal. You know, but basically, I consider myself as a visual artist, and my art style is expressionism,
Right.
Because I'm known for bold gestures and a vibrant aesthetic or color palette. And usually, the subjects that I focus on or paint radiate emotions like self-love, healing, and hope. And I think it's very connected to me personally because
Absolutely.
To you or like to my collectors because they feel that you know, aside from the art, okay, looks nice, but it's really more the value or the emotions that they feel towards, let's say, the painting. And I think I sort of I paint based on the emotions I've felt.
Yes.
Even
in order to
transitioning,
portray that art.
From corporate. So it's very personal.
I had the chance to scroll through a few of your artwork pieces, and there was a 24-inch canvas piece. I think it was the round ones. Those were amazing. So guys, I'm seeing it earliest now. You guys should check out her artwork, which can be found on her social media pages. But going back to when you were a younger child, you know, were you the kid that painted or doodled in your free time? And did that lead you to understanding and becoming aware that you would be an artist one day?
So that's a nice question. I always get that actually. And I think one of the things that made me appreciate art more was because both my grandfathers, my great-grandfather and my grandfather were both artists by profession.
Oh, wow.
And
so it's a long line of artists.
So, well, now I never would have thought that I would become one, but I was always exposed in their studios
to the creative freedom.
Paint, so they paint, but I'd just be there waiting for my mom to like finish her work. So I always was exposed to their artworks, the way they would paint, their pieces, their process. So I think I grew up with it, and they'd always gift me with sketchbooks, you know, paint
so that
brushes.
you could explore your creativity at a young age.
Yeah, or I had no choice. It's more of like, okay, draw, like, okay.
So would you say that art at a young age was encouraged and pushed to you to explore?
Yeah, so I think my parents were very supportive. I mean, I try out different sports and they'd really tell me to focus on school, but they never discouraged me from taking on like art
and
classes. And I also did do piano lessons, so that was really a part of our growing up. That was part of our development.
It's really refreshing to hear because sometimes you would hear families encourage their young ones to pursue a more corporate career or maybe become a lawyer, an accountant, a doctor. But in your case, it's refreshing because, you know, they pushed art to you.
Yes, so I think I'm grateful in that sense. But I think what surprised me the most was actually taking on being that career of being an artist.
Yeah.
Like I always thought that I'd be corporate forever or I'd be working with my dad, his family business.
Yes.
But I think so I'm 32 around.
Wow.
I'm 32. And I said, "Oh, okay, this is something that I see myself doing in the long haul." So
Love it. Now, with all of the experiences that you've had in the past, what made you say, okay, I think I'm ready to take my art career as a visual artist to the next level?
Right. So I was doing corporate in 2020. It was pandemic time. And I just wanted to do art sort of as like I wanted to do art as an outlet. Because
Okay.
I was getting burned out. You know, you're always at home. And there really wasn't anything to look forward to other than Zoom. But you get tired of it. Because even work was already Zoom, right?
Right,
so
right.
I treated art, you know, as something that would help me mentally cope, which
Okay.
sort of reflected in my Instagram account, and I treated it like an art dump account. So I
Nice.
just put I posted like my
Parang escape.
artworks, escape, right? And then so I had commissions left and right, like slowly, but very gradually. And I think I also started selling my art. That was 2020.
Okay.
Because I knew marketing, so I started posting a lot, and then I wanted to sell on Etsy, which is a marketplace.
Do you still sell on Etsy?
Yes.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it's
We need
been
to
5
check out the
years.
shop.
Yeah. So it's one of the things that made me, you know, like think, oh, what if this could be something that I could do in the future and could help sustain the lifestyle that I wanted to have.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy because corporate is very comfortable. You have a monthly income. And so it's been 5 years. I was just treating it like, you know, it was a sideline for me. So 4 years, I realized that I was always so tired, you know, after work. I wanted to do art, but I just felt so like, you know, unmotivated.
Parang you knew your purpose, you wanted to pursue it, and you finally took that leap
Yes, so
to make it happen.
I think I realized I wanted to really dedicate myself
Yeah.
to the craft without being tired. Because
Yeah.
I didn't want to create something half baked, right? And I
Yeah.
wanted to really, you know, like make it quality, which is
Absolutely.
something that I prioritize every time I create an artwork.
Now, through your creative process that you do, so do you plan something ahead of time when creating an art piece, or do you just let your mood take you where it can be?
So I think it really depends. Usually I have my year planned out already, so I know what's gonna happen from this time on to December. And
Right.
I do have shows plotted out, and I would plan out for themes already. But if you ask me, oh, do you have a specific thing in mind that you want to paint already? And my answer is no. Because sometimes it changes. Like
Yeah.
usually I base off my inspiration on the daily things that I experience. The simple things actually that I
Yes.
experience on a day-to-day basis. And it changes, you know, sometimes sometimes it's coffee or I don't know, maybe my dog, but like it's really based on my emotion and current state. But usually I'd plan out for it with a theme in mind, but I won't necessarily know what kind of
Yeah, because when
figure
I
I'd
checked
paint.
out the artwork, it was very colorful. It was very bold. Where does that energy come from? Does it come from? Do you think a lot of the traditions of the way you paint come from your family, and the way they've passed things on to you, or do you get your inspiration from around the world?
I think it's the latter.
The
So
latter.
I love to travel, and I think that's what made me actually resign from corporate. Like I
Okay.
traveled. I'm usually in Europe.
I think many people can relate.
yeah. It's like you go abroad and then you see, for example, other artists in Europe specifically, because I used to work in L'Oreal,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was in Paris quite often. So you just see like artists, you know, painting on the side or even in
Yes.
museums. So sometimes you're not allowed to take photos of the pieces. So some of them actually sit down and just draw. You know, so I was like,
That's
oh
so
wow,
interesting.
they want to like they do what they love to do.
That they love to do.
Yeah.
And I think also in Europe or Paris, they work to live.
Right.
It's not live to work, it's work to live. So
Right.
it's something that I think the world is also trying to adapt as we focus on our careers, as we
Right.
move forward.
And I think their like system or their ecosystem allows for them to really, you know, do things that they like.
That feed their soul.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's true, but like I hear like from my European friends that they have like a stipend of sorts
Yes. I've heard
to
of
fund
that
their
as well. Yes.
hobbies, right? So yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
something that also would motivate you to explore what you want.
Absolutely. With all the creativity that surrounds you and everything that you do in the creative world, do you ever experience a creative block? And what do you do to unblock this?
Right. I think it's normal to have like creative blocks, or sometimes you're just so tired of staring at one thing for like days. It really gets to you. Yeah, like I'm painting one thing. Sometimes I finish a piece in like a matter of hours. The
Yeah.
other one is like, oh my gosh, it's taking me forever, like weeks, and it's just there.
Just to finish it.
Yeah, and so it really made me think, how can I address this kind of like block? Right, exercise. I mean, it makes you have endorphins. We're
Right.
more motivated. But I think what's important is to really rest. That's something that I
How
also
often do you
learned.
rest?
My gosh,
What's
like,
your rest routine?
so skincare first.
Okay.
No, skincare there, and I make sure that I'm, like the mood of the environment or my room, like the lighting is
Yeah.
very chill and
Okay.
moody and warm and quite dark. So at least
Okay.
I'm able to condition myself to
To relax.
relax. Watch my favorite show, but I like doing TikToks.
Ayan. Now we have to go look for Ina's TikToks.
I mean, like, I like watching videos.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then I end up sleeping. So, it's really like, I need to make sure that I get enough rest.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
from Etsy, you've also built a global brand where your art touches many people's lives. How do you balance the business side of your business, the messy, emotional, fun side, being an artist, and the practicality of running a business? How do you juggle those things?
So, I think it's all about trying to set your own creative routine. Like, I keep saying this because when I started out, I would do random artworks, or like I do random tasks, and I wouldn't really get anything done.
Right.
So having that creative routine is sort of establishing that kind of mindset that you have like a framework to follow. So at least you'll be able to achieve certain things. That's the things
Can
that you
you
want.
share that certain framework? Are there days where you're just like, okay, Monday is going to be fully paint day, and Tuesday then I'll go handle my books?
Right. So I do have administrative tasks that
Okay.
I do. Let's say I'd set aside half a day for it, but more often than not, I would paint. And I also do sell merchandise or limited
Nice.
edition, like
Which you
like
were mentioning the scarves earlier.
Yeah,
Nice.
so I set aside time to do the Lala move, the grab for
Yeah.
that, which is a lot also. But more often than not, I would paint. Oh, and
Okay.
sorry, I do create content as well. So my day revolves around, of course, painting. That's majority of the time. But
Yeah.
I would also do administrative tasks and
Okay.
some content creation. Yeah.
Nice. So you create more than you consume.
Yes.
Perfect. Now, did you ever imagine that, your work would be traveling to various countries around the world? And how does it feel when somebody across or overseas says, Ina, I want to purchase your artwork and I want to have your piece in my home? How does that feel as an artist?
Right. So, well, initially, I never would have thought that I'd be able to sell my own artwork to anyone, like regardless of the country, whether
Right.
you're from the Philippines or not. But it's really like, or it makes me so humbled. It's a humbling feeling that, oh wow, someone really appreciates something that I created in my own safe space.
Yes.
It didn't really matter if the person was from abroad or not. I think
Right.
it was really that same consistent feeling of,
Yeah,
oh
somebody
wow,
loves my
yeah.
work.
I think it's
Yeah.
the same across my collectors and clients. And since I've been selling from the onset to different countries,
Yeah.
I think I got used to it. Yeah, so
That's a boss move right there. I got used to it.
I got used to it. Yeah, so that's
No.
like part of it. Yeah.
That's great. Now, so on your website, there are various links to see your work and what you're up to. Can you share maybe some marketing tactics that you've done in terms of creating content to grow your community online? Because people have been noticing a lot of your artwork and you've been forging through the art scene. So tell us about some of those tactics.
Right. So I'll make cuento from
Yes.
the beginning. I used to just post consistently online, and I tell myself that there's this imposter syndrome because like, who am I? I've never been.
I've been there, done that.
Right.
The
So,
imposter syndrome.
like, okay, I'll just post and maybe someone will notice me. But I really took it I really told myself that I wanted to make this big. So I posted every day. I had a schedule
Yes.
before, and I think I really made sure to comment or reply to
Okay.
people who would comment on my posts or who would send me DMs.
Yeah.
And it really made the community in my social platforms grow. And what I think was it's not quite different. What made it grow consistently was also because I never let it just sit.
Right.
So while I paint, but then I make sure that I have a certain time of my day to really reply. So that's really being mindful and present and making sure that my socials would grow.
How do you navigate that without losing yourself?
Right. So from the start, I always thought I had a crisis, like I thought to myself that I didn't want my art to be hard sell. And how could I balance that out with content creation, with, let's say, marketing or,
Right.
networking and events.
You want people to come to you as opposed to
Right.
having to hard sell yourself all the time.
Right. But I think one thing, let's say, even aspiring artists should realize, creating art and creating income or money for yourself should
Yes.
coexist. And, creating a living for yourself isn't something to be ashamed of.
Exactly.
Because you're a professional, and I think artists and creatives also deserve to be paid for the hard work that they do.
Yes.
So it shouldn't be something that we should be ashamed of.
Yeah.
In fact, we should be proud of our work. And I think we also deserve to be compensated with the kind of art that we do. So
With the art that you produce. And it seems like mentorship is also very important to you. For an aspiring artist who is looking to make a career out of their craft, what words or advice would you give to them if they're starting out and really want to make it big?
Right. So I do have some advice that I've been giving out to colleagues and even aspiring artists. And the first thing that I always tell them is that, you have to believe in yourself, because since most of the time you're alone, especially in your studio, and, there's a lot of like doubt.
Right.
It's always gonna get in your head. But what you don't want to happen is you want to train yourself to always think about it that, if I've done this, I could do this. It's always a positive mindset.
Yeah.
Yes. And then second, selling your art doesn't make it less pure. You're here to create, and sometimes, it's really good to be able to share what you created.
Yeah.
Based on my experience, when I created art based on my own mental health, I didn't know that I was able to also help affect, I was able to affect other people in a sense that after seeing my work,
yes.
they're like, oh, I feel better. And I think that also motivates me to create more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really provide that value.
Yeah. Number 3, I think you have to stay focused. The reason why I think I am where I am right now is because I really wanted it. And that's why, given my own creative routine, I was able to set the goals, which were realistic. I didn't really make it too hard to achieve. And that
Right.
made me grounded. And, I'd always also attend events and expose myself to the art scene that made me more educated. Because I never took an art course. I took a business course in university. So I think that really helped me become more aware and
Of the
mindful.
business landscape and being mindful, yeah.
Yes. So number 4 is set your goals, plan ahead. I did mention that I do have a calendar, so I had goals as well, like what kind of shows I wanted to show at, or how many shows I wanted to do for the year, or how
Okay.
many commissions I'd entertain.
How many pieces you want to book and create. Yeah.
Right. So in a way, that's sort of like the business side of things, where I'd really plan ahead so that I won't burn myself out too much.
Yes.
And I can really manage my own time.
Nice.
Yeah. The 5th would be, I think it's really be yourself. This is one of the more important things that I realized, because I know that, sometimes when you're creating art, sometimes I lose myself, because I'm gonna think, oh, is this like too much, or is this too,
Yes.
in a way you have to sort of trust your gut. You have to be able to also appreciate the process.
Yeah.
One piece sometimes that didn't just take, like, it wasn't an overnight thing, or
Yes.
like it wasn't an easy ride for me, and I really did make it a point to really honor the whole process, like all the emotions I felt, finishing shows, etc., which is quite challenging and difficult.
So instead
also.
of pushing down the thoughts, the feelings, maybe doubts,
Yeah.
you really took the time to go through the process so that you can become the best version of yourself.
Yes, and I think that made me more appreciative of the whole professional,
Yeah,
the
professional way of
profession.
doing things,
Sorry,
yes.
yeah, I appreciated the profession more. So the 6th point is actually very important also. It's really be respectful. Like, be respectful of
Yeah.
all the people that you meet.
And this
you
is a
know?
very underrated skill. Like,
Skills, yes.
because we forget sometimes. But yes, please.
Yeah, so like, of course, like, when you get so stressed,
Yeah.
everything's just looming, or like very like intimidating. Sometimes you tend to forget that there are people around you that you also have to, you have to be courteous, you have to be
Yes.
mindful of your actions, because, at the end of the day, they're also going to help you, right? So, again, aside from being respectful, you also have to be very grateful. Like, I don't think I would have reached this far without a lot of support
Right.
from my friends and my family. Like my mom, she's always there in every show. Or like if she knows that, I lack like material, she'd be like, oh, what should I get in National Bookstore? So it's like those little things, sometimes you don't really realize that
Right.
it's a big thing eh.
Yeah.
Like even my partner, now my fiance.
Congratulations.
He was always like, syempre, like I'd always be like, oh, I don't need this. And then he'd really just send food. Yun pala, I needed it. You know that? So
Yeah.
those little things really make you more motivated, like in any profession. naman.
And also at the same time, clients really appreciate it when you go the extra mile to show them how appreciative you are when you are given a project or a piece.
Yes. So you have to be professional about it
Yes.
as well. You have to meet your deadlines, and that's part of being respectful.
Yes, absolutely. 100% agree. Now, are there certain Filipino creatives, in the Philippines that really make you go, wow, I really wish I made that, or I truly drew inspiration from that in order, to continue out your creative process?
Right. So top of mind, I super love Basita Abad. Her creative, I think, mind and the way she thinks about certain designs and the way she executes it, it's out of this world for me because I'm not an abstract artist. But I think the way she does her work is something that I admire. And another person that I really admire is Ben Cab.
Ben Cab,
Actually,
yep,
the way
the one
she
and
paints,
only.
the one and only national artist. He paints a lot of women figures, and I love painting women figures.
Yes.
So I take inspiration from the movement, the way he executes color, the color palette, etc. So I think that really makes me like, oh wow, this person really has a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and internationally.
By the
I
way,
do
the
have,
place
yeah.
where I'm from, Iloilo, has many Ben Cab
Wow,
paintings. So
yeah.
maybe you can come visit Iloilo.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
please. Internationally, you were saying.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, internationally, since I mentioned I traveled a lot, and I did have an exhibition already in one of, in the birthplace of one of the of the artists that I look up to. It's Picasso.
Yes.
So he was born in Spain, and I went to a museum of his in Barcelona because
Okay.
all of his works. His museum's actually based there. And, for me, I think Picasso is I relate to him because my collections, they don't necessarily have one distinct style. But it's mine. Like,
Right.
yeah. So he has like different collections based on, I guess, his mood or his certain like era of that time. I mean, like parang Taylor Swift.
I saw one of his paintings back at the Metropolitan Museum of Art just last month.
Wow,
And it's
yeah.
it's also very distinct then. You
Yeah.
know it's his,
Yeah.
even though it's a different style.
Right. I think it's the way he also paints. But I think what I appreciated was, like I get to see his life through his different collections and series.
Is there a trend or style in the art world that you just can't get behind or that you don't really like? What is that?
Right. So both my grandfathers, my great grandfather, my grandfather, they're like realist painters. They
Okay.
paint portraits.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Portraits, like
Of people. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I can't do that. But I think for me, ever since since I was growing up, they'd always tell me that, oh, you have to learn this technique. It takes a lot of mastery, etc. But I
Right.
would always tell my grandfather as a kid, but why would I paint something that I could take photos of?
Take photos of.
Or see. And then anyway, I was
But
a
it
kid.
could also be like a generational thing. Like we're so used to digital tools and technology.
yeah.
I have it right there. Why would I need to recreate it?
Right. But don't get me wrong, that's a
Yeah.
lot of respect. Because
Right, of
I
course.
really respect those who can, that kind of skill is something that it takes a lot of mastery also. But I think that's one style that I can't do. Yeah.
So you're sticking to what you do best. Now, as an artist, is there a certain backup life or a life you would be living if you were not doing what you do now?
So this was like one of the questions that always like troubled me, but I can't imagine myself doing anything else if that's an answer, because I think I'm already grateful or content with what I am doing now, and
Yeah.
I can see myself doing this until I die.
That means you're fully aligned.
Like, I think I'm okay. I feel
Yeah.
most fulfilled doing this kind of creative life, and I feel that it makes sense, a lot
Yeah.
of sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now we're going to proceed to the quick fire round. I'm
Okay.
going to ask you a question and you can answer in one sentence.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on. So, is there one artist, local or global, that everyone should pay attention to? Go.
Picasso.
Yes, Picasso.
Yeah, my favorite.
Okay. And is there some piece of advice that you've ever gotten about being a creative that you could pass on to creatives aside from what you mentioned earlier? Or maybe there's just this one thing.
So I went to one of my exhibitions in Madrid, and then a colleague of mine, I asked for advice, and what he said was, keep on creating. Just keep on creating art. So he mentioned one stroke a day. That was the line I
One
remember.
stroke a day.
Yeah.
I love it. One stroke a day, guys.
Yeah.
One small thing that you do every day, it can just be a simple thing to stay in your zone creatively or mentally.
Coffee.
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 What kind of coffee do you like?
Iba-iba, different. Sometimes I'd like a cold brew or like just black, but if I get like if I want something sweet or if it towards my period, I'd crave something like
Yeah, a little bit
a
sweeter.
Starbucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite medium right now aside from painting? Maybe it's, painting a digital example of something, or maybe a collage, or is there something else aside from painting that you like to do?
I like photography. I think that's one thing that I also enjoy. That's why content creation for me, it sort of excites me more than it intimidates me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Photography,
Yeah.
for sure. Is there one word that sums up your approach to life and art itself?
Yes, so it's deliberate. So I took inspiration from Henry Thoreau. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it right, but it's the line of him walking deliberately into the woods, meaning, every step that you take or decision that you make in life, you want it to be deliberate and very mindful because, you only have one life.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's the first time I'm hearing someone say deliberate, because you have to be mindful about the direction that you're going to in life.
Yes, because, every effort that you make, you don't want it to be wasted. You want to
Correct.
make sure that, okay, I think this should be enough or fulfilling enough for me to say that I'm okay. I've done my work.
And before we move on to our picture pass segment, was there a point in time where you felt that your step was not deliberate, and how did you recover from it?
There are many times that it wasn't deliberate. More, especially when I was starting out, like in 2020, I'd recover from it by creating more. You know, like I think sometimes I'd
bouncing
feel
back.
bad about it. Yeah, like okay, I'll feel bad about it today, but maybe tomorrow I'll be able to, like I can do something motivating for me to get back.
Be 1% better every day.
Yes,
Diba?
slowly but surely.
Now, this segment is called Picture Pass. So we're going to say a certain concept to you, and you can just say Picture Pass. You ready?
Okay. Pitch is like yes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So, a floating art gallery on a yacht that sails between Southeast Asian capitals, showcasing only Filipino contemporary artists. Picture Pass.
Pitch.
Love it. A secret underground pop-up where collectors can only discover your work through a cryptic scavenger hunt.
Pass.
Why?
It's so hard. Like, I want my art to be, well, of course, accessible. But I think if let's say I were the ones wanting to buy the art, like, I wouldn't want to be able to, I wanted to have an easy time to
For
get the art
people
that I
to
like.
access it. Yeah. How about a limited edition NFT series that combines physical paintings with augmented reality experiences?
Pass.
Pass. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to have a real life thing
Yes.
in front of you. How about an art residency in a rainforest where artists create while living entirely off the land for a month and maybe turning it into a TV show?
Parang pass.
Okay.
I want, like, maybe if I were to be stuck in a place.
Yeah.
I love beaches, so maybe a beach, not a
beach,
tropical forest.
I feel you. How about a collaboration with local street performers to turn city streets into a live immersive art installation?
Oh, pitch. That's a
Pitch.
nice idea. Yeah.
I agree. Now, I believe this is the last picture pass question, but a time
sad.
capsule project where works are locked away for 10 years only to be unveiled to the public in a futuristic expedition or exhibition.
Pass.
Pass.
Yeah. I think, I mentioned that, of course, if I want to be able to see people appreciating my art while I'm alive also.
Yeah.
Like, what if I die tomorrow?
But that's so true, no? I
Yeah.
mean, many people would want to see their legacy of their art continue on, but it's
Yeah.
really nice if they could experience it in real time.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Now, what keeps you going day and day? What wakes you up in the morning and says, Ina, it's time to wake up and create more art?
I think it's the idea of me creating a life that I didn't want to escape. Like, I don't want to escape from.
Yeah.
And I made it a point that Mondays were days that I actually liked. Because so I look forward to working because I like my job, and I also like the feeling of seeing my art being appreciated.
Absolutely.
And making people have that happy feeling every time they, let's say, collect your art. So that makes me motivated.
Now, a lot of our audience are business leaders, who run teams and also want to create a workplace where their team members feel valued, heard, and, where they enjoy working. Do you have any tips for these business leaders in order to create a space that welcomes and promotes good culture?
Right. I think it's all about setting the company's values. Before in corporate, they'd always tell me, are you in the right company? Do you align with the values? I think that already eliminates a lot of stress and adjustments, heavy adjustments. So I think an advice would be, you have to set, to create a good culture, you need to be able to establish the values.
Yes.
And that one will be sort of like something that people will really look at, right? Every time they think, okay, I'm here in the company, like, why am I here? At least, because aligned ako sa values na, like that. So that really makes a difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
And I love that advice.
Yeah.
How do you envision the Filipino art scene in 10 years? And what do you believe we are going to look forward to seeing? Is Inha Arceo going to be releasing more and creating more art? And will you be helping lead this industry forward?
Right. So pressure. Pressure. Well, I think 10 years from now, but it's also currently happening right now, the art leaders or leaders in this category are already creating like museums or more, it's not established. It's more of like a, set or places where art is showcased in such a way that the public has more access
and can be
to
appreciated
art.
more often.
Right. Because for me, more than anything, I think art also has a role to play in our society, which is preservation of culture and educating the youth not only the youth, but everyone else, all the Filipinos on Filipino values, right? So I think it's also an exciting way to learn about history because, it's visually pleasing and you get to, and for visual aesthetic people or visual learners, I think it's something that they could always remember.
Art is expressive, it moves people, it allows you to create and express your creativity.
Right.
How can people support your work, your community, and of course your contemporary art as you move forward?
Right. So, sorry, I don't think I answered the previous question. What I have in store is actually this year, I do have international exhibits starting March.
Where are these exhibits?
Right. So March is going to be in Lisbon in Portugal.
Okay.
So I was invited by
Should we pack to go to Portugal?
Oh, yeah. So may kasama ako. Yeah, it'll be fun. So I do have, they invited me, pop-up gallery.
Yeah.
So I'll be showcasing some Filipino, contemporary Filipino artworks. And I'm very excited because usually collectors, especially in the European region, they get excited every time there's, let's say, a Filipino artist who also shares their artwork. So hopefully, I'll be able to do my best, in that exhibit. By May, it's going to be in Madrid. Then June is in New York. New York because I agreed.
I love it.
Para worldwide tour.
Worldwide tour.
Yeah, so I agreed with Arteo Gallery to exhibit because I do have collectors there already.
Okay.
So I wanted also to connect my collectors and audience there.
Nice.
Yeah. And the last international exhibit is August in London naman. London and Chelsea, which is the Women in Biennale art exhibition. And currently, the only Filipino artist among the roster of Filipino women. So again, hopefully I do my best to represent the Philippines, but I think it will be a good show.
So you are representing the Philippines as a solo artist, or are there more artists heading there with you?
Solo artist for now. Because I get invited by these galleries, and of course, it's a lot of pressure, but at least I know I've been selling naman my artworks internationally since 2020. But
so it's like going to a familiar place already.
Yes. And I used to travel a lot, so I feel like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And sorry, this year.
Yes.
Last
please.
is, I hope all of you attend also. It's gonna be in Makati, October 24 to November 21.
Okay.
In Altromondo Art. So it's gonna be a big solo exhibition. That's my last show of the year.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
Taking notes, guys. And since it's in October, we have some time to plan it and come back to Manila.
Oh, yes, please. But sorry, all these details, they're in my website.
Okay,
in the exhibition segment. So, yeah.
Ina, it was such a pleasure speaking with you and learning from a creative entrepreneur like yourself. I'm so excited to see where you go. And you've already gone so far, and I'm sure the rest of the Filipinos and your clients and collectors worldwide look forward to watching you thrive. Thank you so much for being with us here on Business and Tsismis.
Thank you for having me.
This is Vanessa Caro, your host for Business and Tsismis, the Limitless Series Season 2, powered by Eastern Communications. Once again, this episode was with creative entrepreneur and visual artist Inha Arceo, and we will see you at the next episode.